In March 2020, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum carried out a series of developmental activities, among which were institutional responses to the COVID-19 pandemic. Professor Zulum in March constituted a high-level group made up of his Chief of Staff, Borno's Ministry of Health and other key ministries, the World Health Organization, all agencies of the United Nations and other specialized partners to develop an effective response plan for Borno State towards preventing the spread of coronavirus and managing outbreak. Professor Zulum, on receiving a response plan, appointed Borno's Deputy Governor to chair the implementation of the plan with adoption of strict preventive measures. The governor also held statewide broadcasts to build public confidence and provide directional leadership at moment of crisis. While responding to coronavirus, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum inspected ongoing construction and expansion of 2 maternity clinics at Abaganaram. Zulum also inspected ongoing construction of a 1,000-seating capacity auditorium, which he approved for the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital in Maiduguri. In preparing for economic realities caused by COVID-19 pandemic, Professor Zulum in March directed restructuring of the 2020 budget. Professor Zulum also constituted a team tasked with raising Borno State's internally generated revenue through innovations, fiscal discipline, and prioritizing. In same month, Professor Zulum inspected ongoing construction of a new investment house in Maiduguri. He also set up a committee on reviving fishing businesses in Borno. Professor Zulum was also in New Marte towards accelerated revival of major irrigation farming activities by the Chad Basin Development Authority. To prepare citizens for COVID-19 lockdown, Professor Zulum approved early release of salaries for all workers and pensioners. In same month, he got directly involved in winding up the biometrics of pensioners with complications. On social protection, Professor Zulum in March was in Gajiram, headquarters of Ganzai local government area, where he supervised the distribution of food and non-food items to 19,000 vulnerable households, each made up of at least 8 family members. Zulum also received Switzerland's ambassador to Nigeria, Chad, Niger, Libya, and ECOWAS with discussions on the welfare of refugees and internally displaced persons affected by Boko Haram insurgency. In March, Professor Zulum led Borno into partnership with Nigeria's Bank of Industry to equally raise 1 billion naira to support small and medium-scale entrepreneurs in 7 local government areas. In March, Professor Zulum invited and hosted citizens of Borno occupying high-level public offices at federal MDAs, with participants identifying ways they could contribute to repositioning their home state. The meeting held in Abuja. In same March 2020, Zulum hosted Abuja-based senior citizens of Borno and Yobe states to discuss ways of addressing challenges. This happened in Maiduguri. On security, Professor Zulum in March announced an invitation to citizens of Borno State who retired as Army generals and equivalents in the Air Force, Navy, Police, DSS, and other paramilitary establishments for strategy talks in tackling Boko Haram. Also in March, Professor Zulum was at the headquarters of the NDLEA in Maiduguri to strengthen the fight against drug abuse. In March, Professor Zulum was in Gombe to join other governors of the Northeast for crucial meeting on security and developmental cooperation. In March, Professor Zulum received a report from the Lake Chad Basin Commission on stabilization of communities affected by Boko Haram in the Lake Chad region, to which Borno State is a member. Also in March, Zulum received the House of Representatives Committee on Army to discuss ways of strengthening the Army's fight against Boko Haram. Still on security, Professor Zulum in same March visited the Chief of Army Staff for high-level discussions over Boko Haram insurgency. In March, Professor Zulum addressed participants at an international conference on insurgency and counterinsurgency in Nigeria, which held in Abuja. Also in March, Professor Zulum was at Maimalari Barracks in Maiduguri, where he announced cash support of 23.5 million naira to families of 47 soldiers killed by Boko Haram, with each family to receive 500,000 naira. In March, Professor Zulum directed the rebuilding of 500 houses at New Marte, which will provide safe temporary shelters for returnees among refugees and IDPs. In March, Professor Zulum supervised the opening of a mega primary school for pupils of Gajiram town. Professor Zulum also inspected ongoing construction of new mega schools at Muna, works at Chad Basin Primary School, continuation of a 60-classroom mega school around the Shehus Palace, new blocks of classrooms at Gwenge 2 Primary School, and ongoing construction of a new state library complex in Maiduguri. At all sites opened last month, he gave deadline of May for completion. Still in March, Professor Zulum inspected ongoing construction of 150 units of houses he approved for junior staff of University of Maiduguri. Also in March, Professor Zulum inspected ongoing construction of roads and drainages at low-income communities in Jidari Polo. He directed speedy completion. Throughout the month of March 2020, Professor Zulum accelerated construction of a variety of multi-sectoral projects in parts of Maiduguri, Konduga and Jere local government areas, the combination of which hosts more than half of Borno's population. Report by Loretta Omoruyi.